There are times out there right now that just move a little bit too fast, okay? It's 2020. The sun is barely coming up these days anymore in the morning, and I have allergies and I just want to cry absolutely every single day because the world just won't go back to normal. I want to watch some movies at a movie theater and have some really delicious buttery popcorn. But let's take it back to a day when the world wasn't moving so fast. A day where there was times where you didn't have a flavor of the month car, you just had good cars all the time. I'm Alex at FI on Instagram, and today's episode of Behind the Wheel, we're gonna be taking a look at Sawyer's 2009 Honda Civic SI. So Sawyer's Honda Civic SI has airlift 3P air suspension. It's got 17x8 plus 35 Avid 1 AV52 wheels and NVIDIA N1 catback. It's got the S204 front lip, a Mugen wing, 15% tint, 5% brow. It's got BAM Shifts Bamboo shift knob for all the fancy folk out there, Honda mud flaps, and the red out taillights. Probably the best and most exciting thing about Sawyer's car is the air suspension on the Honda Civic SI. This is like my favorite generation Civic, like almost one of my top favorites. And it's running a tuck setup, which is a little bit different for most. Everybody's gotten so used to like the poke or flush fitment when you're aired out, but seeing a nice tuck fitment on a smallish coupe front wheel drive car is like, oh my goodness, it's like buttery toast. And obviously the wing isn't part of the original car. It's not, but we wish it was. The Honda Civic SI, this specific generation, did a really great job with pulling all of the soft lines and the harsh lines together. And when you pair it with a nice little wing on the back of it, it kind of flows everything together really nicely, especially with the curve here to the harsh lines that come over the top of the roof line. I really love the back of this car. I think that SIs are underrated these days, and people need to drive them more, and people need to buy them more, and people need to throw them on the ground like Sawyer, just maybe a little bit more. And not everything these days needs to go fast, all right? Not everything needs to be supercharged, turbocharged, 900 horsepower, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes you just want a fun daily driver. And this one has normal seats, baby. Woo! I feel like Sawyer is like 6'9". Oh my goodness. Let me just, wow, we get to drive a normal car today that just like isn't all over the place. It makes me so excited. Look at all this space. I'm just so excited. Come on, give me up. Come on, you got this. The air works. The air works. The AC works. Look at all this space. The best thing about this car is even when it was introduced, and especially the generation in 2006, it immediately won Car of the Year, just in case anybody is wondering. And on top of that, people loved this car. You have to remember that the previous generations of the Honda Civic, probably until you get to like the 6th or the 5th-ish, I love the 6th generation too, by the way, really didn't get a lot of love because of just what they did to the Honda Civic in total. So in terms of when they came back with this one, it was pretty much everything we wanted. It was the VTEC, it had the SI, it had the manual transmission, it had everything that kind of brought it back, and it had a super neat body style. This is probably one of my favorite body styles because it reminds me of the Jetsons. It's got like this super techie front with a ton of space. It's got a raked dash, so it feels like you're in a sports car. Like just looking at this dash and how long it is in comparison to how long it probably should be is always really kind of misconceiving while you're outside of the car, because the car doesn't look that big, especially when you're looking at the outside. And the engine bay is extremely small. It swoops down so you can't really see the hood line, which reminds me a lot, honestly, of Audi R8s and a lot of those softer cars. I think the number one thing I love about this car is that this is a 2009, but the car has done so well for being 11 years old that I feel like you can jump into one of these and not feel like you're jumping into a car that's 11 years old. And for what you get for the price of this car, and the fact that you get like the short geared, you get the limited slip differential, you get all of that. You get the front wheel drive, sure, which isn't everybody's fan favorite, but you're not really getting a Honda Civic to go sliding around in the back lots. It is just a fun, enjoyable car to drive. It's not insanely fast, but it never really claims to be. The point of this car was to give people something fun to drive, good to look at, that you could kind of sort of play around with, but at the end of the day, it didn't raise your insurance premiums. It wasn't a pain in the butt to, you know, fix or repair or anything like that. And Honda did a really good job with it. The number one thing that you'll actually hear about this car when it comes down to modifying or working on is actually how difficult it can be to work in the engine bay, just because they stuffed portions of the engine farther back that requires you to take off like the rain guard piece that sits near the front windshield. But because it has VTEC, I don't care. Like, it's still a fun car. It's still such a blast. For some reason for me, I just feel like Hondas don't get as much love as they should anymore. For some reason, I don't know if this is just opinion or fact or what it is, but for some reason, I just feel like Hondas and Civics just don't get the same love that they used to. There's so much competition out there in 2020. There's so many cars that are pushing 650 horsepower, 600 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, $30,000, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody's going towards how fast can you go? How high can that number be? How fast is a quarter mile? What technology can you stuff in it? And then how long will it take for it to break? And a lot of people have seemed to kind of get away from the Honda Civic. And I know that there's the Type R, there's a new one that came out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't always want to look at top of the line cars. Not everyone has top of the line price to go buy one of those cars. So when I look at something like a Honda Civic SI, just this generation specifically, for some reason, it just speaks to me. It just is a car that does everything right for me. And it's not the fastest thing in the world, but I'd never buy this car to try to be. Sawyer did a fantastic job with keeping it super clean and easy. Does it have any engine modifications? No. Should it? Maybe. It's got an exhaust to make it sound a little bit better, and it's got the wheels, tires, and suspension, fitmentindustries.com. And it does all of that just enough to where it's not ruining the daily drivability. Plus, look at the back. You got 2 seats. Do you have to remove your legs? Probably. But for the most part, you still get a trunk. You still get good gas mileage. You still get everything that you would want a car to be. I try to pin this back to, like, could you take this car to college? Could you take some of these cars that we purposely make less reliable anywhere outside of your local, city? And the answer with this car, unlike many others, is yes, you could. And you could do it without much fuss, and you could do it without sweating your balls off. You could do it without praying that your, U-joints don't break off or anything like that. You can just drive it. I think for some reason, it's almost like these cars were built to be more fun, like not going super fast. They're more fun just driving around town. They're more fun just playing around. You got the limited slip, it's a blast. You have the manual transmission, it's fun. You still have the air and the suspension, and you got all of that, so it still looks really good. And then with how they styled the car, it looks fantastic when it's on the ground. You've got this center double up display, which I think is kind of funky, but I don't mind it whatsoever. I love the fact that your lower dash has just the tach, and then your upper dash has the digital display for speed. And a little, wonky out there, but I think it's cool. Like, I think it's perfect for what you'd want. The fact that it redlines at 8,000 RPMs in a Civic Si for me, which isn't even their top of the line model, is fun. The exhaust still sounds good. The LSD still does a great job. The front wheel drive still does good. You can hear the switch. I don't want to get pulled up. We're going 35. I think when you're looking at a car like this, it's just proper. It's just right when you want to own something like a Honda Civic. And owning this generation SI for me is so much fun. This one and the 6th one for me just hit a soft like soft, warm part of my heart because they do everything so well. The styling looks really good from the factory, so you don't have to work on trying to make them pretty because they were inherently ugly. There are some Civic generations that I think are just a little bit ugly, and this one's not one of them. Sawyer did a great job with kind of keeping everything relatively modest, and short of probably throwing a couple more modifications on it, I don't really think you'd want to do anything more to the car. I just noticed that the little scented thing, majigger, whatever it's called, is probably throwing itself in front of the GoPro. But hey, it is a BAM Shifts. We're not sponsored, but in case you're wondering what it is. And the best part about this car, truly the best part about this car, is that it has normal seat belts. Thank you, Sawyer. Thank you for doing that for me. Oh yeah. Just making sure it's in neutral. Okay, I'm gonna put the clutch out. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, we're good. All right. There we go. We're on the ground. Oh boy. Steering, it's got AC, it's got speakers, it's got a cup holder. What else do you want? Oh my goodness gracious. One of my favorite things about Sawyer's car is that it's still just that. It's a car that you can drive without worrying about it blowing up. Now, is it the most modified Honda Civic SI out there? No. Could it still do a couple things without ruining reliability? Also, yes, you probably could do a couple more things to it, but as a whole, is it a great starting point for somebody's modified SI? And to that I would answer, absolutely. When you're talking about the reliability, the community that's around it, the cost of the parts of something like this platform, you are pretty much in almost a perfect space. And the only thing that you can do to ruin this car is probably ruining it yourself. When it comes down to rating this car, I give it a 21 out of 30. The only biggest thing that I would say with it is that it just needs a little bit more of everything. Everything about it, I just want to modify one step further. Sawyer wants to keep it reliable. I prefer things broken, literally all the time. We hope you guys enjoyed. Wheels, tires, suspension, fitmentindustries.com. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you do have an 8th gen Civic SI that's just modded out to the max, you're gonna wanna let us know, maybe we can review it. But I do really like Sawyer's car. I think the one thing that I'd probably change about it is you gotta throw a turbo on there because that's gonna make it more reliable and it's gonna make it faster. Imagine VTEC with a turbocharger.